right over there. You know what I'm talking about. You know what? I know all about Bigfoot. Ned knows Bigfoot. I've seen him all over the place. Red ones, black ones, white ones, everywhere. You know, I tell you all about it. I can tell you story upon story about Bigfoot. I was down there by the Clackamas River. You know what I'm talking about? I've seen him. I saw him all. You know, Bigfoot defends the territory. He's very upset if you come near it. He'll throw stuff at you and whatnot. Not like that. You know what? I saw red ones, white ones, green ones, blue ones, black ones. They're all over the place. Sticky ones. Woo! Some of them stink down in Florida. They smell it. Skunk ate. Ever hear that one? I even saw a white one. I saw them all white, big feet in the Paraforce video. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about. You know what the military's involved? It's a big cover-up, big conspiracy. They'll come in with helicopters, black helicopters flying with big nets. Their arms and legs are dangling out of it. Oh, yeah. Uh-oh.
As a matter of fact, that's one of the things I've been concentrating on anymore, is things that Bigfoot does. Recently now I have 2 reports of their, get out of here, this is my area, you know, waving their arms. One of them from over near Bend, and the next one will be the platoons that are coming up. But it's, hey, that's
demonstrative defending it.
Something. Hey, this is my property. Go away. His dad, Fred Bradshaw, thank you. His dad had worked at Bonneville Military Reservation at the time. He was some kind of not a guard, night watchman type thing. He says he reported a helicopter coming in with dead Bigfoot. They doused gasoline on him and burned him. Third report came of they're taking a helicopter load east into eastern Washington of dead Bigfoots. How they knew it, because they could see the arms and legs dangling out of the net. So when you're over at Larry's sometime, I've got this big helicopter and he's painted it black. And we'll get a hair net and we'll dangle a bunch of little models.
Oh, cool. More white ones in the past 10 years, say?
Yes, there's a lot of white ones turning up. Most recently, I started out of town. I was going in the wrong direction, recall from Hillsborough, and I had to turn around and go back. I was on my way to a community of Forest Grove, and this Gales Creek runs right through Forest Grove. And there was a lady that called me there. She had 3 of them on her property. All 3 of them were white on this creek. Now that's right there. And then further on downstream, this runs into the Tualatin River. At the mouth of the Tualatin River, I had a report of one. And that was right next to the freeway. The guy said he... And then so what after then, we had one over near on the Clackamas River, which is across the Willamette River from that point and upstream 20 miles or so.
So
I don't know if it's the same creature or probably more than one, because we had the one citing at least 3.
the white ones have just sprung up in the last few years. I mean, in more propensity. Let me ask you this regarding night and day. Obviously, more encounters would be from the day, or is that not necessarily so?
People have drawn different graphs on it, and I had one of our people over in Japan do a graph on stuff just out of the newsletter. I'm going to come up about 50-50, with the exception the bulk of that 50-50 falls on the extreme edges, towards sunlight or sunset or sunrise. And we've come to call them crepuscular is the term, rather than nocturnal or diurnal. It's a nice fancy word to use in the newsletter.
Sure. Yeah, oh, that impresses me, right?
Hold the phone, Russell Crowe. Don't worry about a thing. I'm Ned from Ned's Elevator Reef Fire. I'll fix everything. I got the universal tool right here. This is like a soup bowl. Don't talk about. Don't worry about it. I cleaned it. I cleaned in the toilet. You know what smells bad? Bigfoot. Bigfoot's stinky. I'll tell you this, and the stinky one's on the place. Smells worse than Nick Nolte after a 4-day bender. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Oh, they stinky. Oh. Hey, don't get all upset. You know who gets upset? Bigfoot. They get all upset and they'll tear your arms and legs right off and beat you over the head with it. Kind of like a fishing trip with Scott Peterson. You know what I'm talking about? Dangerous. Let me take care of it for you right now. I'll fix this elevator up for you. Woohoo! Here we go.
Here's one on the north slope of the Olympic Peninsula. And this is told by a reliable guy, but he got it from an unreliable source. He got it from a forest ranger. And they were both in a bar drinking and talking about Bigfoot. And the forest ranger says they were called into service one day. The guy had come out, stumbling out of the woods, covered with blood. His girlfriend had been attacked. State police, Forest Service, and some of the local service went up to investigate. And there was the girl, arms torn completely off, legs torn completely off, just the torso. The guy said the Bigfoot had come down the trail towards them, and she just started screaming to high heaven. And hey, maybe he got up on the wrong side of the bed that day or whatever, but anyway,
shut her up.
that's one of the cases without shooting, no shooting incident. As a matter of fact, this last newsletter, we did an outing over on the Malala, and I mentioned all these things that were happening to me. Remember Dr. Pyle had got a thing on top of his car, went ka-flump. You didn't read Pyle's book?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, I had a thing go whump on the top of my truck when I was up there camping. I looked up there and there's a pine cone laying there on top of the car. Well, that was my thump there. Tremendous odor come drifting over the camp, really belly wrenching. I took a picture of the dead deer and I included that in the...
You were downwind.
Too, And, you know, all kinds of tree breaking. Oh, there was a...
Chest thumping, I wanted to ask you that.
Okay, hell, I heard it every 15 minutes for 2 days. And it was,
A grouse?
grouse,
Have you ever had an account of somebody being struck by something?
One of my papers that I wrote, I didn't even forget who published it now, basically watch out for Bigfoot, because they don't always miss. We have one case from down southwestern Oregon where the miner was found, his head crushed in, bloody rock nearby, and no place he could have fallen from. He had been working a sluice for gold.
A salute?
Sluice.
But he's alone, working alone in the remote...
Working alone, and all during this time, whenever there was anything strange in that area, they shot at it. And he wrote me back that he'd interviewed some showgirls from over in Vegas. They'd come up to Oregon to go hiking. And of course, you know, there's all kinds of bears and snakes and wolves, so supposedly. So they brought one of the bouncers along, and he was armed with a gun. Bigfoot came down the trail at them, and he shot at it. The thing started tearing him to pieces. Apparently he lived, though. They coptered him out. A lot of big stink about it, and the girls, like you had mentioned earlier, but were told they're not welcome to come back again. Don't come back. We don't want you here.
Oh, you ain't going nowhere. We're going to be camped out here for a while. You like camping? I'll tell you. Just give me some time to tell you story upon story about my camping trips. I was out there. I saw Bigfoot on a camping trip. You know what I'm talking about? We have slug races. We eat salmon. You like slugs? Slugs are good, I'll tell you. Not only that, you know what? I can tell you story upon story about Bigfoot. I heard a story one time. Bigfoot attacked a pack of Girl Scouts. I swear it wasn't R. Kelly and Rob Lowe. It was Bigfoot, I swear. Bigfoot is everywhere. He's everywhere. No one talking about that's right.
Yeah, I started to say when I got out of the car, there was a Girl Scout group, and they were sleeping over up this trail and off to the left. And early one morning, early in the morning, two of the girls woke up to a noise, and there was a damn Bigfoot going through it, you know, left almost as soon as they did. So I was scared them as much as
And they saw it?
did. Yeah, they saw it. They came in and reported it at my bookshop.
Oh, wow.
What we're guessing is those hills that we saw further on down. Yeah. The Bigfoot followed those hills right up around to here. They stay up here during the daytime, out of sight, and at nighttime they go down to the Willamette River, right down to the bottom of this hill, and they catch salmon. At nighttime, the salmon have a tendency to school off onto the banks, so they wade out and grab themselves a salmon feast. And some type of confirmation of that, there's a little island right down here. Lady was filming, taking pictures of birds, and she was taking pictures of them, and all of a sudden she saw what looked like a log out in the water. It moved. And she said there was a caveman out in the water with his arms outstretched like that, like he was trying to catch fish. As a matter of fact, one of the cases I ran in the newsletter, and I don't really know what to make of this or not. The guy had gone up, this is out on the Clackamas River drainage, and the guy had gone in. He had found a dead deer with his head missing and torn off, and Bigfoot tracks. He knew it was important sighting. He went back into the Forest Service station in Estacada, and he told the lady there about, she was Lady Ranger, and she went back with him. They took casting plaster and everything. She wrote a very detailed report on what was found, had taken some plaster cast and brought those back. That report initially went to Dr. Fahrenbach, as a matter of fact, who found hairs in the bottom of the track. Some of those ones he sent back to Ohio to be checked on, supposedly. The lady kept the tracks. She kept them in her office, but they had to move them outside because they just stunk up the office so bad. They have an annual slug race up there. A couple other things where it wasn't particularly afraid of the fire. I do have a report from it, 3 reports of it running out of a forest fire and being seen by the fire, people put out the fire, whatever you call them. Fire putter outers, how's that sound?
Yeah, well, that works with me.
Yeah, right, you look pissed. Don't be pissed. You know who's pissed? Bigfoot. No one time I swear I saw him peeing off my neighbor's deck. Woo! Just like a golden arch. Woo! Not only that, he does some other things too. Some lewd acts, you know what I'm talking about? I saw him back to vision one time. I swear it's disgusting. Kind of like Pee Wee Herman in a movie theater. Oh, Pat O'Brien after a few drinkers. You know what I'm talking about? You know it's disgusting. Oh, you know. And know what else Bigfoot does? He'll get mad at you, he'll throw poop right at you. I swear he will. Take a big pile of stinky poop, woo, he'll just throw it right at you, kind of like Bill O'Reilly, you know what I'm saying? Throwing poop at everybody, woo, stinky.
And this guy and his wife every year would rent one of the cabins on the east side of Spirit Lake. They come up and they take the boat across and spend the weekend for their anniversary. They kept asking my brothers to come along. Finally, this one year, my brother Denny and his wife and my brother Marc came up with them. They went over and stayed at the cabin. It was primitive stuff, no plumbing. It had a well, it had an outhouse. It had a nice railing all around the porch, so the guys would use the rail as a place to stand and expel certain bodily fluids. So they were out there, and my brother Denny went out by himself and stand there, and he thought one of the other guys came out and was standing next to him. And as he turned to say something to him, he noticed that it kept getting taller. He kept looking up, and the thing jumped kind of a bolt like that when he saw my brother turning towards him. Cleared the railing on the porch there, was to the rock wall, and was up the rock wall in a matter of maybe 10, 12 seconds. He ran inside the cabin, slammed the door, grabbed the dresser, grabbed the table. My other brother and the other friends there all said that he was just white. He didn't know why he was asking for this help, but he wanted that door bolted and covered. And you ask him about it today, and he had forgotten about it all these years. And one day, my brother says, you know, this is going to sound stupid. I want to tell you something that happened up at Spirit Lake one year. He says, it was not a bear. It was not a man. It was big, and it cleared that railing, was up that hillside in seconds. He says, you guys may be right.
You know what they do? They take all the dead Bigfoot, they put it in a big pile, and they burn them up. They pour gasoline on them, they cook them up, they serve them at a snack bar. True, they serve them up beef jerky, Bigfoot jerky. You know what I'm talking about? It's true. It's all big cover up now. Don't worry about a thing. I got a big snack over here, right here. You want some of this snack bar? I got a nut roll. There's more nuts in this nut roll than North Korea. Kim Dong Ding Dong Dong Chong. He looks like Elvis, doesn't he? Know what I'm talking about? Yeah, no, I know. Elvis, know what I'm talking about?
His story was that they were seen, the Forest Service, or the black helicopters we're talking about, was carrying off, you know, big netfuls of dead elk, and then netfuls of dead bear, and then netfuls of dead Bigfoots. Another story from Fred Bradshaw. His dad at the time worked at one of the military centers over by Vancouver, just east of it. Camp Bonneville, I think it was called. And his story was that a helicopter come in with dead Bigfoots. You could see the arms and legs dangling out of the net. Dumped them on the ground, poured gasoline on them, and burned them.
Wow.
A third report that I picked up a lot later was that the helicopters had been seen east of here. Over in eastern Washington, headed over towards Spokane area, but that was all. You know, they were just seen arms and legs dangling out of the nets is all.
Well, I tell you, I know all about Bigfoot. I was there. I saw, you know, they saw Bigfoot in Paris. I swear they do. There was a Bigfoot in Paris. Of course, who hasn't been in Paris? I know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about, right? Oh, yeah. Oh. I tell you what, you know what? The government's covering the whole thing up. It's a big conspiracy. You know what they do? They're using Bigfoot to scare people away. Kind of like an episode of Scooby-Doo. You know what I'm talking about? That's right. They get them in there. Woo! Scaring them away. Let me tell you what happened. The aliens came down, woo, from outer space. Let off the aliens in there. The government came over and went, hello, where the government? And they said, here we got Bigfoot for you. And they let them loose on the people out there. I swear it's true. I was there. Ned knows about about Bigfoot. That's right, I was there. Woo!
I can read semaphore. It says, welcome, dickheads. UFOs. I see UFOs, 5 of them. They were triangular in shape and had a contrail behind them, and they were flying in formation.
Organization called BFRO, Bigfoot Redundancy Orchestra. That's right. We go out there and we make all kinds of noise, try to flush out Bigfoot, try to get him overexposed. Kind of like Laura Coleman. You ever hear him? Yeah, overexposed. You know what I'm talking about? He's more overexposed than Tara Reid's nipple. You know what I'm talking about? It's crazy. It's true. It's true. He's popping out all over the place. You know what I'm talking about? That's right. That's right. I'm telling you, I'm a researcher. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking for Bigfoot out there in the field. You know what I'm talking about? I don't actually go out in the field. I just do it from my internet, from my trailer park home. I'm looking for him right here. I find Bigfoot right there. When I find him, I'm going to make $1 million. I'm going to be rich. I don't actually go out in the field, though. Now, I just stay in my trailer park, search the internet. When I'm rich and famous, people are going to be like, woo, Ned found Bigfoot from his trailer park on the internet. That's what I'm doing. I'm telling you, all you need is a trailer park, the internet, and a nut roll. That's all you need right there is a nut roll. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, you know what I'm talking about.
Nobody really expect this type of thing, you know, but just the pressure built and built and built, and all of a sudden, wham, out it came. All of a sudden in the sky, we saw this huge plume going out. And I knew right then that it was a volcano that had blown. See lightning, and you could actually see the billows of the ash itself as it went up. Great tsunami-like flood went down here, carrying ash, pumice, mud, all that stuff. Almost wiped out everything in those paths, all down the river, you know, just took houses out and plowed them, almost took the bridge out on I-5 even, you know, they wouldn't let anybody across it.
As a kid, I grew up here with my folks fishing every weekend. Ferret Lake and the lake we passed way down there, Silver Lake. Fish here every weekend. Well, Harry True and my dad were consumers of alcohol. And when this thing started up, I guess they said that Harry stockpiled his whiskey and went to his cave, which him and my dad would go to fish in that area. And evidently what happened was he got to his cave in time and was sealed into it, they think. But no one else seems to know exactly where that cave was now that the terrain has changed. So a lot of people believe to this day that, of course, he's in there. And he's entombed, you know.
With a buzz on.
Sealed on. Yeah, he was happy when he went.
Kablam! Oh, you know what I'm talking about. I'll tell you all about Bigfoot. Yeah, I found a lot of Bigfoot up there in Oregon. I'll tell you all about it. You know, Mount St. Helens, that mountain that blew up, kablam! Oh, yeah, I saw Bigfoot riding a log like a horse. That's what I did. He was riding a log like a horse. That's right. He's riding a log like a horse. I'll tell you, I'm going up there to hunt Bigfoot. I'm going to hunt Bigfoot to save it. That's right. I got to kill it to protect it. Once I kill it, I can prove it exists. You know what I'm saying? People are like, Ned knows. That's right. I killed it. I can prove it exists. There it is right there in front of you. I go back out there and hunt him more and kill him anytime I want. I might even invite Dick Cheney along to hunt along with, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to stand way behind him. You know, talking about, don't talk about way behind. Come blind!
There was a couple that was camping down the Toutle River Valley that night, the night of the 17th, and they woke up the morning of the 18th to an alarm. They didn't know what it was. They weren't too alarmed about it. Pretty soon, Venus, the lady, looked up the river valley and she could hear this rumbling and this snapping sound, and she didn't really know what it was. She kind of kept an eye on it, and pretty soon the level of the river started rising very rapidly, and they saw the mud and the wet concrete-like substance coming down, carrying trees, and a railroad bridge that it had just taken out. And by that time, they were very concerned. They packed up very quickly and jumped in their car and put the key in the ignition, and it wouldn't start. So what did they do? They did the only thing they could think of. They jumped on top of their car, hoping that would get them up high enough so that the flow wouldn't get them. When that flow came down, it jumped over the bank, knocked their car over and dumped them right into it. Roald, the gentleman, was able to jump onto a log, and he sort of rode it like a horse for a while. But there were so many logs in there, they were banging together, it crushed his knee and it broke his ankle. And Venus had disappeared. He had no idea where she was. He started jumping from log to log and swimming around trying to find her. He was finally saw her nose poking through the surface of this concrete, and he was able to reach down and grab her by her broken wrist and pulled her out, and they were both able to make it to the shore, and they survived to tell the story.
And now I think you understand a little bit more of the importance of using what you know.
Hey, you did pretty good fixing that elevator. Well, let me check your work there. Hey, don't get upset. I know all about elevator repair. I'm Ned from Ned's Elevator Repair. Hey, what's the matter? We're all set now. We can leave the elevator anytime I want. Of course, I can still talk to you, but uh-oh.